The legend began in the boot of her car. As a creative, energetic, young model-turned-businesswoman with a keen sense of fashion, she first began selling clothes out of the back of her vehicle and has never looked back since. Possessing keen business acumen and a positive, never-say-die attitude, she built a small clothes retail business into an iconic brand that has spread far beyond a mere clothing line, becoming a name synonymous with quality and a certain lifestyle. Also a devoted mother and keen animal lover, she personifies the elegance, style, and grace of Odell. ETV Power Women proudly presents Otara Gunewardene. Hi and welcome to ETV Power Women. Today our guest on the show is a household name, as is the brand that she's created. She's a fashion icon and someone whose love of animals has, led her on this wonderful journey of introducing new things into our lives. I'm sure you can all guess who she is. Otara Gunewardene, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Well,
you all right?
Yes.
Well, I want to start off by actually asking you, there's this sort of urban myth, everything is mired in urban myth and legend about, how Odell actually started. I mean, I understand that you started out of the boot of your car. Is that true, or is that just,
That is the story, apparently, as far as I know. Yes, in a way it is true, yes. In the sense that I did own a blue station wagon, when I was, after I finished university and came back to Sri Lanka. And I was doing a lot of modeling, so I used to get around in my blue station wagon at the time. And then at the same time, I sort of started this selling of the surplus from the factories. So put it in the boot of my car, really, and then drive around and then go for the rehearsals. So then people would look in the boot of the car at that time and buy things, and then I would, from there, then go to other shops and sell the products. And so really, that's how the story started. So in a way, it is true.
It is
yes.
true. And how did you decide to? Because was it through your modelling and you just sort of felt that there was a need for people to have clothes and there was this excess surplus from factories? How did you kind of put everything together?
Actually, I mean, at that time, there was no sort of thing like that I really knew. I knew about instinct. It was just instinctively and just out of. Just just a hobby and just a way I just wanted to earn extra money, because I had no background in business. I had no knowledge of anything in retail or marketing or nothing. All I knew was everything about animals, because that's what I studied. And then I started modeling, and but actually my father was quite keen for me to do something business-wise, or I mean, nothing specific. He always wanted me to do something as a business, or just to keep myself occupied. And so he's the one who actually set up the company, in the sense he registered it under Odell.
How did the name?
It's my name. It's Otara, and my second name is Odell.
Okay.
So that's how he made the combination, and he just registered it as Odell Enterprises. And then he got me like a hair care agency from Australia.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that's what I actually started doing. I imported a consignment of hair care products from Australia, and then it was called Steiner. I think, I don't even know if the brand is there anymore. And I was distributing it to all the salons in Colombo. And that was really the start of the business part. And then during coinciding with that was all these factories were opening in Sri Lanka, and they had a lot of garments which they didn't know what to do with. So I was the one who went and collected the garments at the time and started distributing to other stores in Sri Lanka. And again, it was just to earn extra money. So I used to model and earn money from that, and then that money I used to buy the garments. And, so it was like rolling the whole thing, and that was really how it all started.
Well, it's amazing, I mean, to see where, how you started and what the brand has become today. Because, I mean, you had your shop in Dickman's Road, you now have this fabulous lovely store, which has kind of, it's sort of developed from being only about clothes to really being about a lifestyle. I mean, you offer everything possible. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, including, you've got a new range of gym clothes. You've actually started
including
a sort of
foot massage.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, and yeah, I have a, it's like a leisure line. It's under Otara, and again, it's a new brand I started, which is to do with the gym I started as well. So
because you're quite very, I mean, you're very fit. You're very into fitness.
Yes.
So I mean, was that just kind of natural progression for the store? I mean, are you going to be adding more things like, you know, like that? Do you?
Yes, always. I mean, I think that's part of the excitement, and that's part of what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Always doing new things, and and giving new looks to the store, and new product ranges, and new concepts, and that is what I really enjoy doing. So then that becomes a business, but it's really enjoying that side of it is really what creates a new business, or creates the business, or expands the business.
So,
So.
I mean, when you started, did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine that it would take on this complete life of its own and be a real sort of, you know, an entity that not only Sri Lankans are aware of? I mean, you have so many international tourists or foreign visitors coming specifically just to come for a weekend and shop at Odell. I mean, that just must give you such a sense of, you know, pride and satisfaction.
Yeah, it does. And no, and I never imagined it to be what it is today.
Yeah.
But you know, it's step by step, and every step I take, and once it's completed, then I see what I can do further from that. It's just that once I don't stop dreaming, I don't stop creating, and that's really what takes me and the company from one level to the next. Like I said, that's what I enjoy, and that's what I see that is possible. And then once you see that it's possible, then it can be done.
Now, I mean, we sort of touched on it a little bit earlier, but you have new sort of, I don't know if products is the right word, but you have new avenues that you've looked into, like Backstage, which is, I mean, you don't only have it in Sri Lanka, it's overseas as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to just tell us a bit about that?
Again, Backstage is a new concept. Again, it started kind of within Odell, because we had accessories all over, and then we brought it together.
Yeah.
And then I created it under a different brand, a different label, so that it could stand alone, and it could be a concept that can be taken out of Odell, which is what we've done now. So I mean, the international thing is still very new, but there's a huge amount of interest actually in Backstage internationally. It's just that you just have to be ready to do it.
Yeah.
So we've already franchised it in the Maldives. There are there's a chain of stores in India that's buying the product, and then Singapore, and then even in the UK, a lot of the department stores are keen on having the brand within their store. So it's a different concept that can be taken out and as a standalone brand. And that's really what I've done with Backstage.
So, what's a typical day in your life like? What's a typical work day like? Is it all like, or do you have time to kind of?
No, actually, it can be like that, I think, and there are times where it has been like that. But I've somehow been able now to create a balance where I'm able to do the things that I feel I have to do, like my workouts and my spending time with my kids, and as well as giving attention to the business and to the stores, which I think lately has been even more of a focus, because there are a lot of changes we're doing, and a couple of new stores we're opening, and so there are a lot of things happening. So the days are busy, that's for sure. But if you plan it well, and I have a really good team behind me who supports me,
which
and
really helps.
without whom we couldn't do a lot of what we do.
Because I mean, you're very hands-on. Because I've seen you in the store, sometimes walking around, checking that the t-shirts are folded, and I mean, I guess that's a very important part of it. I suppose you have to know really your product in and out, and
I think you can't be out of touch with what's happening on the front end, and just focus only on the back end, because it's really the front end that gives us brings us the revenue, and really is what is the main focus. And that's really what I enjoy as well, even though I do have to get things in the back end also. And when I first started the stores, I used to spend a lot of time on the floor and meeting the customers and folding the products and hanging the products. And I mean, I don't do it to that extent now because it's difficult to do right now. But that was always a side of things which I really enjoyed doing. And it's really important for me. I walk around the store, all the stores regularly, so I see what's happening, what's not nice, what I think is not good, what needs to be changed, all the new things that need to, areas that need to be changed. So, and because of that, we're constantly changing areas and looking at things that don't do well and removing those, and then increasing things that are doing well. So it's a lot of
hands-on stuff. So you mentioned that you'll be opening some new stores. Will that be in looking to kind of go into other areas?
We're opening one in Mount Lavinia next month, and then there's another one or two areas that we're also in discussions with at the moment to open. I think Odell has been very much a city, isolated in Colombo City. We do have a store in Jala and the airport. So I think it's people know the brand now, that they like the products, and I think the time is right to really take it out to so that everybody can enjoy it.
And the other thing actually that you've been doing a lot of is your own label products. Like I go into the store and I see you've got these wonderful dresses and shirts and tops. And, I mean, is that something that you're really going to push? Is that as a brand, Odell as a brand? Is that something that you can see sort of taking internationally as well?
Yes, definitely, and that's really what we're focusing on now. At the beginning, Odell was 100% surplus excess, a surplus store, and then it became, all the other products coming in as well. But clothing-wise, you're still, a lot of surplus garments from the factories were there. But now we've changed that because it's not consistent when you focus just on buying surplus stocks. You don't get the proper sizes, you don't get the proper collections. So now we're actually doing our own line and making it very affordable, very stylish, very the quality very good, so that people get a good product at a good price and one that they can look good. And they know. I think the main thing is there's confidence when you buy something at Odell that it's something that's good, because not everybody knows what's in fashion and what's stylish, and so that confidence is there.
Wonderful, fantastic. Right, well, we're going to take a little break, but don't go anywhere because we're going to be right back with a lot more from Otara. So we'll see you soon. Hi, and welcome back to ETV Power Women. Today we have with us Otara, the founder of Odell and fashion icon as well, which we sort of touched on a little bit about Odell in the first segment, if you missed that. So we're back, and I'm going to ask you now, Otara, a little bit to tell us a little bit about your kids, because you kind of touched on that earlier. You have two boys.
Yep, two boys, 9 and 15.
Oh, wow. So you have a teenager.
Yeah, I have one teenager and all his friends.
How is that?
It's good though, I love it.
Yeah.
They all spend a lot of time at home, and it's lovely to have so many young people around, it's good, and obviously, like any mother, I love my boys, and really they're the most important thing in my life, and so I try to spend as much time as possible with them. It gets a bit difficult sometimes, but I have to cut off and do it, and I try to make an effort now to do that.
I mean, how did you find it quite hard, sort of juggling motherhood as well as building this fabulous brand up? Was it a bit of a struggle?
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. That's for sure. But I have. My parents have always been very supportive, and they've really been, because of them, I've been able to do a lot more, because I can leave my boys with them, and I know I don't have to worry. So my mother is still very involved with them, and
Which is lovely, right?
They spend time with her. So, I mean, that has always been a big strength for me.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been, been easy, but it can be done.
Yeah. And I mean, how do the boys feel about Adele? I mean, do they go and spend a lot of time there? Is it something that they're very excited about? You know, or is it just like mum's job?
Sometimes, most of the time, it's just like my job.
Yeah.
And I mean, my oldest son at one point, he used to come on his holidays and he used to work at the store in different departments and
great.
just
Get a feel for
it. But he hasn't done it lately, even though I think. Yeah, you know, they drop in and they use the facilities, and I mean, they take some sort of interest, but you know, not much.
Well, it must be quite cool for them to kind of, you know, tell their friends, or, you know, hey, just gonna pop into Adele.
I don't think it's so much that they feel it that way, but I think you know, it's the other way around, where people say, oh, you own Adele.
And I understand that you've got 2 brothers as well, and you're the only girl in the family.
Yes.
So what was that like? Were you sort of spoiled, or did they kind of
yes.
treat you like, oh, you were?
Yes. Because my brothers are older than me. They're like 7 and 8 years older than me. So I was always, you know, the very young one in the family, and the only girl. And yeah, but it was really enjoyable, and we have a really good family relationship. And I have no complaints.
So were they quite protective of you growing up? I mean,
yeah, somewhat.
Did they beat up your boyfriends and stuff like that?
Possibly. No, it's never happened. Some have been frowned upon, yes.
Excellent. And, I mean, you know, apart from your love of family, this is something that's very important to you is animals. I mean, you've started off Embark, which actually started a couple of years ago,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, how successful has that been? Because I mean, I know so many people. I see your sort of bring your dog into the store and the wash day and stuff like that.
Yeah, the grooming day.
The grooming day.
Again, Embark was, you know, obviously I do love animals, and I think that's quite well known now that I do. But it was also why I studied, you know, biology. Because I wanted to be a vet, and then I couldn't handle the study period for so long. So it's just, you know, as part of that, because I can't really do a lot now, you know, physically, obviously, you know, where you physically get active in those, in that field. So I try to help this way. And I chose, basically, Embark is a program against the cruelty of, or to improve the well-being of animals in general, because the problem in Sri Lanka with stray dogs is why I focused on that. And it is a big issue in Sri Lanka, as the stray dogs that are, you know, all over, and also some of them are really unhealthy on the road, which is really sad.
And people seem to have no compulsion about just taking a dog over and just driving off.
Yeah,
that's something that really sickens me.
Yeah, I've seen that often, and also, you know, then after that happens and they're injured on the road. And so I have picked up quite a few dogs, and in fact we're treating one now as well. You know, but it's just as and when we see basis, because we're not big enough yet to you know, to have it as a serious ongoing program. But we have sterilized over 2 dogs now, and treated quite a few, and then we have Adopt a Pup as well, where we I think we've given about maybe up to about 100 dogs for adoption. Oh, fantastic! And we also check after, you know, we follow up after that once they're given. You just don't give them away, because sometimes you give them away and it's not necessarily that they will be treated properly.
It's cruelty. Fact. It's really sad that people just kind of.
Well, I think sometimes it's not done intentionally, but just people, you know, people just are not aware of how you know, animals should be treated like anyone else is. But then sometimes humans are not treated the way they should be either.
So we've got a lot to learn.